At long last, Hollow Knight Silksong is finally here. Hollow Knight veterans have begun devouring the game to become an expert on Silksong as quickly as possible. But I'm interested in seeing what Silksong would be like for more of a newcomer. My girlfriend Ellie has no Silksong experience, and in this video, I'm going to document her journey with the first 5 hours of the game. Her struggles, her triumphs, they're all here, so let's jump in and see how she did.
At long last, we've arrived at Silksong. It's been a long time coming.
Say that again. I was talking.
Okay, here we are. It's Silksong. Let's do it.
It felt a little hard to believe that we finally had our hands on the game. Silksong was beginning to feel like it may never come out, but here it was in our very hands. Ellie soaked in the opening cinematic as an imprisoned hornet freed herself and fell to the bottom of a mysterious new land.
She's bending so much. It's kind of weird. Masquerado.
Compared to the opening stretch of Hollow Knight, Silksong is much more filled with color. Moss Grotto features a huge splash of green, providing us with the perfect area to begin familiarizing ourselves with the game's controls.
Oh, it hurt me. Thought I could land on it. Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord.
Watching Ellie play this opening stretch is really illuminating. About 9 months ago, she tried Hollow Knight for the first time. The opening minutes found her struggling to even jump as the entire control scheme was completely unfamiliar to her. Now, all these months later, I could see just how far Ellie had come as she immediately picked up the basics. It's easy to gloss over something like this, but it shows a huge amount of progress.
Starting Silksong felt a lot smoother and like I knew what I was doing and I knew what the goal was and I understood the format. So I think I was able to really enjoy the areas a bit more when I wasn't struggling with basic mechanics. I have so many hours of experience with now, 40 hours of Hollow Knight compared to 0 before starting Hollow Knight. So it just made that whole transition from the beginning into the different areas feel really natural and like I made a good amount of progress.
Ooh.
Is that too early to die?
It's never too early to die.
Hey, we've all gotta die sometime. One interesting element here is that Ellie was comparing her experiences to Hollow Knight since she's now put so many hours into that game. Where was the Geo, the soul energy? There seemed to be some rough equivalents, but they didn't appear to function in quite the same way.
I am doing so well compared to my first couple minutes of Hollow Knight. This is crazy.
Oh yeah. You've come a long way.
Oh my gosh. Again.
Deja vu.
Ellie was struggling to make some of the longer jumps. Hornet will pull herself up ledges, which is very convenient, but you've got to be right at the ledge for that move to work. Platforming was one of Ellie's primary points of struggle when playing Hollow Knight, so I was curious to see how she'd handle it in Silksong.
A bench.
First bench.
First bench. Oh, already onto a boss. I just started this. Are you kidding me? Oh my. She rude for that. It's hard not to, I'm trying to do all these things I can't do.
Yeah.
Damn. Mistakes were made. Damn. I don't have enough skills. I don't have enough tools.
Hey, that was a good effort. Good effort.
Silksong seems inclined to throw a boss at you a little earlier than its predecessor. Moss Mother presents a nice early game test, but I felt confidently that Ellie could take her out without issue.
Ooh, see, that didn't heal me all the way, which is interesting. Okay, one death and I did it. Okay. Oh my god, I'm like a pro now. This is crazy. Knight's so proud.
He is so
Y'all
proud.
are so proud.
With boss down, Ellie can now head higher up and get a better feel for the expansive scale of this world.
Oh.
Okay, just a minor setback there. We climbed back up and found Bone Bottom, a cozy enclave that gives off some Dirtmouth vibes. It's got a bench, a shop, and some cozy NPCs with whom to chat. We couldn't stick around for too long though. It was time to move on to more dangerous territory.
Why am I nervous? This is a boss. Dang, I gotta stop letting them hit me. I don't really want to go back down there.
Progression through this room required eliminating all of the enemies in a row without dying. Ellie had seen all of these enemies already, but killing them in a run without messing up creates a lot of pressure. She wanted to just bail on the room and go somewhere else, but unfortunately, she didn't have any choice but to get through it.
Nice.
The Marrow was our next area, which features a volcanic atmosphere, providing a huge juxtaposition from Moss Grotto and indicating the sheer variety that this world likely has to offer.
I really like the world so far because all the areas feel really vibrant but really different. It's so similar to Hollow Knight, but I didn't feel like I was in that exact same world. I think there were very clear elements that differentiated each area, but also made them really bright and welcoming and exciting to explore more.
Unsurprisingly, the Marrow features some tougher enemies than what we've encountered thus far, as well as these weights attached to the ceiling.
Ah! That scared me.
Further on, Ellie encountered a vertical room that requires a lot of quick jumping, as many of the platforms collapse shortly after Hornet jumps on them. Add in some spikes and enemies, and you've got a pretty tricky segment. With enough attempts though, Ellie made it on through and higher up into the Marrow. Ellie began lowering some weights, which appeared to be creating shortcuts of some kind. By this point, she was beginning to feel frustrated by the lack of a map, which is completely understandable. In a Metroidvania such as this, a map is absolutely vital. Ellie had explored enough at this point that it was getting difficult to remember where she'd already been. She pressed onward though, and began to hear some singing.
Yes! Yes! Oh,
As if on cue, Ellie met Chakra, who can finally sell us some maps, as well as a compass and quill. She had everything we needed for responsible exploration, but Ellie couldn't afford any of it yet. We needed more rosaries, Silksong's currency. So long, Geo, it was nice knowing ya. Ellie saved up the beads and bought both maps, Moss Grotto and the Marrow.
I was really antsy to get the map, probably just because I had the context of Hollow Knight, knowing how important that was, and I'm used to having it, that without that, I probably wouldn't have been so attached to the idea of having a map to figure out how to get around. I know how bad I am at navigating, and I don't have a great sense of direction, and so I kind of wanted to just hit the ground running with what I know the goal is in Hollow Knight, so I think I just felt antsier to get to that map. I haven't been here. Oh, they throw up.
I gotta say, I love these enemies. This one's vomiting on us. This one's... I don't know what he's doing. Further on, Ellie found this guy trapped in some web, but it was regenerating too quickly for Hornet to cut it. Seems like we might need another ability for that. Ellie explored deeper into Moss Grotto, eventually finding an elevator. Few things are more satisfying than unlocking a shortcut. Thanks to this one, Ellie could now easily get back to Bone Bottom. After some more exploration, she bought the compass and bench pins from Chakra. Just like in Hollow Knight, acquiring these navigational items was deeply helpful for Ellie and made exploring way more fun. I'm still a bit surprised that being able to see where you are on the map is only possible with the use of the compass, which takes up an item slot, but what are you gonna do?
Oh,
Whoa! Eventually, Ellie made her way up further into the grotto and stumbled onto something that looked particularly interesting.
Okay. A skill!
With this new ability, Hornet could now throw her needle forward to attack enemies, or perhaps clear some web. Ellie picked up her first side quest, known as Promising a Wish, here in Silksong. Now that she had her new ability, we set off to see what other webs she could destroy. And now it's time for the viewer question of the week. This week's question comes from channel member Great Sky Lizard. Are there any game genres that you just don't enjoy? There are massive game franchises that print money, but we all have that one game we just can't get into.
I don't think I've played enough of any genre to say it's a genre I just don't like or would avoid. But from my experience with Undertale, I don't think I like RPGs, and I don't think I love puzzle games. I think I could love some of them, and I ended up enjoying Portal. I don't think they are games that make me feel cozy and happy.
If you'd like first dibs on your question appearing in a video, as well as a ton of other cool bonuses, you can become a patron or channel member.
I'm gonna just try it. Oh shit. Why did I not think this would be a boss? I thought he would be a friendly man, not a foe. Oh, he be hitting. Oh, he painful too. He hit with a vengeance. Oh, oh, oh.
Good try, good try.
Alright, it was time for our first proper boss fight, Bell Beast. This battle takes place upon a deep sea of bells, which is probably one of the coolest arenas I've ever seen in a video game. Despite the occasional struggles, Ellie has managed to defeat quite a few bosses in Hollow Knight, so I saw no reason why she wouldn't be able to take this one down as well.
Ooh. Crazy how much damage he causes. I am noticing that about this game, that the enemies seem to deal a lot more damage really quickly, and the bosses seem harder really quickly.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that a lot of enemies in this game deal 2 points of damage a lot, which is very weird to me.
Initially, Bell Beast has 2 main moves. He'll run across the battlefield, and he'll jump across the battlefield. The latter is telegraphed by a primal roar of sorts before the beast emerges up from the bells. To help learn the moveset, Ellie spent some time just trying to avoid the attacks, without trying to attack back, a strategy she picked up while playing Hollow Knight.
Oh, what the f***?
On occasion, Bell Beast also appears somewhere in the middle of the arena and summons a couple of rolling bells. That's the basic moveset, which isn't too overwhelming, but there's a catch. All of Bell Beast's moves deal 2 hits of damage, including the bells themselves. It's surprisingly unforgiving for such an early fight. Still, as long as you've got your wits about you, you should be okay. About midway through the fight, you've got some raining bells to deal with. They're not too difficult to avoid, but now a bell falls after most of the beast's moves.
Whoa, what the f***? That's so f***ing unfair. I was in a good spot to heal even. He came out of nowhere.
A great time to get a hit in is when the beast is running across the arena with a smooth downward slash. It's a little tricky to pull off, but Ellie started working it into her strategy. At this point, Ellie had seen the entire fight. The Bell Beast didn't have any other moves up its sleeve, so as long as she could lock in and maintain her focus, Ellie should be able to take him out soon. Of course, having all the info doesn't necessarily make the fight easy.
Damn it. I was so ready to heal, I was 1 hit away.
At this point, we were making it into the second half of the fight every single time. Ellie's only issue was that she'd falter a little bit in that phase as the pressure mounted and the beast's moves expanded.
Oh my god.
Wow.
This game is hard as hell. Good lord.
There we go, baby. Ellie triumphed and made it look easy in the process. She consumed a silk heart and unlocked Silksong's fast travel system, which actually functions by riding Bellbeast through underground tunnels made of bells.
I felt really locked into the Bell Beast. I didn't feel like I was struggling too much with it. I felt very dedicated and motivated to keep going. And I felt like everything I'd learned about boss fights from Hollow Knight and other games all culminated in that moment. That felt like one of my most successful boss fights to date.
Round of applause for the Bellbeast. Most bosses just die after they're defeated, but not this guy. He took a minute, reflected, humbled himself, and now offers to take us around the entire world free of charge. Take note, other bosses. Ellie pushed further into the Marrow, unlocking a shortcut and eventually freeing our first flea, which is essentially the grub of Silksong. Now it was time to push further into the Marrow. Ellie soon found these red buds of some sort. She was compelled by them but couldn't figure out what she could do with them, so she moved on.
Oh, a boss. Is this a mini boss because he didn't have a name?
Yeah, just a mini boss.
Damn,
Oh.
I have too much.
Very aggressive mini boss.
Ellie stumbled onto this mini-boss who is really not messing around. His attacks have long reach in a small arena, and like many other enemies we've encountered thus far, he deals 2 hits of damage, which is really what sets him over the difficulty edge. Ellie did not have to fight him, but she seemed intent on doing so nonetheless.
He hurts. He hurts. I don't want to do him again.
Probably a good idea. She found a new bench closer to the mini-boss, but that wasn't enough to tempt her to try it again. Further down at the bottom of the Marrow, we discovered a pathway featuring more lava.
Deep docks. Oh.
The deep docks.
Deep Docks is a very hot area featuring these strangely lovable pothead enemies. They feature both melee and ranged attacks but can't be damaged when hit in the head thanks to their protective pot. Chakra can be found very early here, so Ellie snagged the area map as well as some markers in case she found any points of interest.
This is my own boss fight. Oh.
Some tough enemies here. The fireballs that this fella throws can actually be hit like a baseball, which makes fighting him a fair bit easier. Ellie didn't seem to realize this, but I wanted to give her time to make that discovery on her own. Despite the challenges, we managed to save up the rosaries to purchase a bench here in Deep Docks. Having the map right off the bat was giving Ellie a lot of exploratory confidence that she wouldn't have otherwise.
Did I, unbeknownst to me, just enter a boss room? You gotta stop getting hit. Oh, Lord, look.
Nice, nice.
Ooh.
That was very good.
Thank you. Wow. I feel so accomplished.
Yeah.
Ellie defeated the kill room on the first try and found a new bench to boot. It would seem that Silksong features a lot of these kill rooms where the player is locked into a confined space and forced to eliminate all enemies before moving on. I definitely remember Hollow Knight having them, but they seem to be more frequent here.
Oh. Oh. That's new. He sounds like a cordyceps.
Up towards the top of Deep Docks, Ellie found a long corridor that features these little guys hopping on the hot ground. In order to proceed all the way through this room, she'd have to navigate across these toasty floors, but she assumed that doing so would kill her.
But I can't get over there
Why not?
because I have to walk on lava. Oh, I didn't even think about jumping.
Yeah, it's funny. See, you just did this. I mean, like just a little bit ago. I was curious if it was gonna click.
I was just like in panic mode and not really
Yeah.
thinking about what it was doing.
I think that's why they have these hopping enemies hopping on it to show you that you can do it without getting hurt.
Oh yeah, baby, Ellie had acquired Swift Step, Silksong's version of the dash from Hollow Knight. It does provide Hornet with the ability to dash, but now you can actually hold the dash button down to sprint. This enables Hornet to cover a huge amount of ground quickly and feels a bit more natural than dashing over and over again in quick succession. It's a massive paradigm shift and completely changes the game's mobility. Few Metroidvania acquisitions are more satisfying than the ones that change how you move through the world itself.
I think I understood from Hollow Knight that once I had the dash, it would really impact boss fights and give me another move to quickly navigate a boss. And I understood that it opens up new areas if I can dash to get to another platform. And I had already seen a handful of those that I remembered I could go back to and now access a whole new area. And I'm also impatient, and it's nice to be able to run out of a room rather than slowly walk. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is scary because I can fall off. She kind of fights like the Hornet fight.
Yeah, she does.
It's so interesting. Oh, damn, bitch. That's a crazy attack. Okay, good first attempt.
Yeah,
I staggered her once.
Yeah, you did. You did a great job.
It was time to fight Lace, and with a first attempt like that, we were feeling pretty confidently. This is definitely the hardest fight that Ellie's been forced to contend with so far. Lace is extremely agile and aggressive. You'll seldom have more than a couple of seconds before she's back in your face.
So did I even hit her then when it like...
Mm-mm.
Even if she turns white? She's a bitch.
Lace has 4 primary moves. She can swing her sword a couple of times, she can dash across the arena with her sword sticking out in front of her, and she can jump in the air and then lunge down towards Hornet. These first 3 moves are fairly standard stuff, but her 4th gets a little more complicated. Lace is equipped with a counterattack. When she flashes white, attacking Lace's front will result in immediate damage, followed by a flurry of slashes that will inflict even more damage if Hornet doesn't immediately move away. This was a tricky attack and one that Ellie wasn't understanding yet.
On the first attempt, I felt pretty comfortable and ready to tackle it because it reminded me a lot of the Hornet fight, so I thought that it would be simple for me to memorize her moveset, figure it out, it would have felt familiar, and so she reminded me a lot of that. And then as the attempts went on, I started to realize that she felt a lot more complicated to me. I was really struggling to figure out her movesets or what prompts them. I felt myself continuing to make mistakes that I made with Hornet, and it felt unavoidable because I couldn't figure her out even though she felt familiar.
Ooh, wait, that one was personal. That one was personal. I swear. Oh, naughty, naughty, naughty.
Ellie kept plugging away, but her chipper demeanor from earlier was beginning to fade.
With the Bell Beast, I was gradually improving, and I think what sucked about the Lace fight is my best attempt was still the first one. I never staggered her again, and so that really set my expectations for, I'm gonna get this in 3 attempts. And I guess I was just so burnt out and getting worse, and it was the end of the hour, and I just had a lot of other stressors that made that really hard. It felt, I don't know, it's just a huge struggle to do so well at something the first time and then not be able to understand why you can't do that again.
Ellie mentioned a phenomenon that I, and I imagine many of you, can relate to. The first attempt of something is often your best attempt. I'm not quite sure why this is. To some degree, I suspect it's attributable to the fact that the stakes are so low on the first try. You don't really know what you're in for, so the pressure is lower. So too are your preconceived notions. You have no idea how to react to the moves since you've never seen them before, leading to a deeply reactive, mindful approach. The more you fight though, the more you begin to assume how the fight should quote-unquote be handled, which can lead to pernicious assumptions. All the while, your patience dwindles, which always harms performance.
I want to walk around.
Doing a little walk around sometimes. That's good. To do a quick reset, a little stroll around the apartment. Oh, she just threw a lamp on the floor. Okay.
Ellie gave it a fantastic effort, but it looked like defeating Lace was going to have to wait for another day. Despite this, Ellie had a fantastic run for her first 5 hours, covering way more ground than she did during her first 5 hours with Hollow Knight. Ellie had a great time with Silksong and is eager to play more as soon as possible. If you enjoyed this video, why not subscribe or check out another episode? And if you really enjoyed this video, you can become a patron or channel member to help us make more. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.